For those of you with a bit of pop culture knowledge, it'll come as no surprise that the iconic red doors that appear throughout the campaign of Black Ops Cold War are a reference to the Rolling Stones song Paint It Black.
I see a red door and I want it painted black.
But there's more to this story. Prior to the game's official release, some eagle-eyed individuals took notice of an inaccessible game titled The Red Door on the PlayStation Store database, with the internal name of COD 2020 Int Alpha 1. Given both this name and the prevalence of red doors within the final game, I'm left to believe that the mysterious title they stumbled upon was an early look at what would become Black Ops Cold War. In the cutscene where the team meets with President Ronald Reagan, there's a jar of jelly beans that could be seen right in front of Reagan's seat. This detail is actually completely accurate to real life, as the former president was known to eat an ample amount of the sweet treat, even passing a jar around the table during important meetings. Funnier yet, this was also referenced in the multiplayer map Checkmate, where, on board the ramshackle mock-up of Air Force One, you can find a priority target dummy seated in front of yet another jar of jelly beans. In the mission Red Light, Green Light, as you move through the Anytown USA shooting course, you can find this button on the side of the Burgertown drive-thru statue, modeled after none other than Bubby, who first appeared in Exo Zombies back in Advanced Warfare. Pressing this button to place your order can elicit a couple of funny one-liners.
Great! You're gonna love my meat inside you!
But if you're persistent enough to push it about 4 times over, you'll hear a rattle as something falls behind the statue. If you then go over to investigate, you'll find a hidden M79 launcher, which you can then carry around for the rest of the mission. Word to the wise, it's quite good at taking down the juggernauts. The lighter flame at the opening of the Black Ops Cold War campaign is actually the continuation of a Call of Duty tradition, where every Black Ops game that matters has opened with some kind of fire in view. And with the amount of respect that this game gives to Black Ops 1, there's no question why Treyarch decided to open the first mission this way. During the safe house sections of Black Ops Cold War, if you were to ignore Park's warning about Adler,
Whatever you do, never ask him about his scar.
one of the randomized lines he'll come up with might be the following.
Back in '73, I was nearly killed by a tiger while on a mission in Malaysia.
Following up with,
You ever been attacked by a tiger, Bell?
this line might just go over your head on your first playthrough, but as you soon learn over the course of the story, your player character Bell was betrayed and left for dead by one Arash Kadivar from the Perseus spy ring. And guess what's sewn right on the back of Arash's jacket? On the Fireteam map Crossroads, if you head over to the train crash area and stand in this specific spot behind the exploded fuel tanker, the minimap will change the named location to Train Go Boom, which is, of course, a reference to the line that became something of a meme from Black Ops 3.
Outcome? Train go boom. Outcome? Train go boom. Outcome? Train go boom. Train go boom.
In the Gunfight map Game Show, there's a number of sinister Easter eggs that can be found around the playable area, including some Perseus insignias, and ciphers that seem to indicate the players are being brainwashed into believing that Perseus is truth. Or this nuclear alert, which, at least we're not far from Nuketown. But creepiest of all is what can be found if you were to shoot out this mirror, revealing it to have been a one-way, while on the other side is some kind of brainwashing chamber that looks recently used. In the Zombies map Firebase Z, if you were to rack up 50 total zombie eliminations with a monkey bomb in any of the generator rooms, you can unlock a secret upgrade which not only boosts the monkey bomb's damage, but also changes the music to some fat beats, which not even the zombies can resist busting a move to. At least, while the moment lasts. In Black Ops Cold War, there's a strange paper texture hidden in plain sight which, strangely, name drops some brands that I'm not sure Call of Duty really has anything to do with. You can find this asset in the commercial areas of maps such as Diesel and The Pines, where it appears to list the layout of a Safeway? What's more, if you read on, this paper also name drops Gatorade, which, ironically, is owned by PepsiCo, who had already made some product placement of Mountain Dew in the same game. Per my research, this isn't technically a violation of trademark law since neither brand listed on the printout is really being unfairly represented, but it's still weird that this turned up in a game where, outside of a few outliers, the brands are by and large fictional. Previously on Intel, I briefly touched upon how most of the brands you can find throughout Black Ops Cold War are completely fictional. Focusing on the expansive mall within the map of the Pines, I want to cover some of the more notable brands and products that I was able to find around the map, like Friendsers, where you can buy a candy called Sweet and Sexy, or the Pop and Eat Popcorn store, where they guarantee the best quality artery blocks, or try out Coffee Corner's Cancel Culture Coffee? And then there's Nova 6, which that's not even a... I bet you didn't know about the hidden miniature story that connects the multiplayer maps Cartel and Miami. Inside of the Menendez residence on Cartel, you can find what's left of Menendez Sr., as well as a letter signed by Stitch from the seasonal story, offering to help intercept the prisoner transfer of one of Menendez's allies in Miami. Over in the actual Miami map, sure enough, we can see an emptied out prison bus that's been overturned by a civilian truck, so apparently Stitch's operation was a success. The same can't exactly be said for Menendez. Check out this swanky swimming pool in the hotel section of the map, where if you were to go to the edge of the diving board, your jump will actually get some extra height, which is just really fun. Welcome to the Miami special season finale of Intel Black Ops Cold War. The response in this series has been awesome, and I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's left a like, thoughtful comment, shared, or subscribed. You guys are my biggest motivation, and I can't possibly stress that enough. Anyway, there's much to cover in just this one map, so let's get right to it. The map designers for Miami left a number of inside jokes all over the place, which leads me to assume this was their favorite map to work on. One such example is hidden right in plain sight. Heading over to the welcome sign for Miami Beach, there's a helpful little sign over to the left, letting us know the difference between open, caution, and closed, which the latter has a slight caveat. The beach closes for all, except Bob. It's fine for Bob. Or to deter any and all daredevils, shark surfing is prohibited, except for Bob. It's fine for Bob. Anyone else noticing a pattern? Never mind that, let's check out the events calendar. Surf contest, previous champion Bob. Aquarium tour, best attendant Bob. What the f***, Bob? You've got a finger in every pie here. Speaking of pie, Bob's the champion of the eating contest? And the classiest drinker too? Good lord, it's Bob's world and we're just living in it. I'm getting off this beach. Let's shift our focus over to, the visitor center. Wow, look at this awesome sculpture of South Beach. I can't imagine who would be talented enough to create this work of art. No. Wait a minute, no, don't tell me. Bob? Sculpted by Bob? Bob! Okay, that's all I could actually find on the living legend that is Bob. So let's focus on something a little different, which is actually just upstairs in the visitor center. Here on this little info board for the history of South Beach, there's an interesting little section titled It's Mafia Time, as it goes on to mention crime bosses such as Al Capone and Scarface, who is definitely a real person. The former is noted to have bought a house here, despite the residents' attempts to prevent this. Silly residents. Or for those more interested in biology, over to the right we can learn about the ocean's creatures such as the sea turtle, jellyfish, and the elusive Big Tony? What? That's an inflatable shark from Black Ops 3. Blah blah blah, contact Beach Patrol if any sea monsters or if Big Tony is sighted. Do not approach Big Tony unprepared? Well, where is he then? I'm prepared. When I first discovered this weird little detail, I was convinced that this elusive Big Tony would be out there somewhere in Miami. But after hours of scouring every inch of the map, I unfortunately have to report that my findings turned up nothing. It looks like Big Tony has eluded us once again. In all reality though, it's probably just another inside joke from the map designers. Be honest, do you really think a fella that looks like this would be hard to find? But that about wraps up what we have for Miami, and also the Black Ops Cold War season of Intel. Once again, I just want to show my appreciation to everyone who's supported my work and motivated me to keep making these. The response has been astounding, and I hope to make more of these. So don't worry, this won't be like the last season of Intel or anything. Intel will return soon, but for now, let's just say, I'm going dark.